Good afternoon and welcome once again to the 2023 IHF Coaches and Referees Education Week, where leading experts throughout the world of handball share their knowledge and experience in 7 days. There are 12 webinars scheduled for this week. 5 of them have already passed, and now we are on to the 6th one. My name is Adrian Costello. I'm a member of the IHF media team, and I will be your host throughout this week for all the webinars. And together with our experts, we will touch interesting parts of the sport, both from the coaches and the referees perspective. We had already some very, very interesting names, and we'll have another one today. In fact, 2. But the first one will present his lecture in the next minutes. To begin with, we would like to let you know that these sessions will be in English, but outline that we also have translation available in French, Spanish, and Arabic. It is pretty simple to switch to them. It's the interpretation button at the bottom of your Zoom app, the globe button. Just click on it, select your preferred language, and then you'll have the translation of what our experts are saying in the webinars. All these webinars fall under the umbrella of the IHF Education Center, which is available at ihfeducation.ihf.info. So you can watch all of the webinars which are being recorded and will be available on the website ihfeducation.ihf.info for on-demand video. All the participants will be awarded a certificate for their attendance, but only the ones attending all webinars will be granted this certificate. So be sure that you log in and watch all the 12 webinars in the IHF Coaches and Referees Education Week. Okay, so next, now the 6th webinar will be presented by legendary goalkeeper and the goalkeeping coach Mats Olsson. The 6th webinar is called Trends in Goalkeeper Play, Different Styles, Role in Fast Play, Technical, Tactical Behavior in Different Match Situations. So, Mats, the floor is yours now. You need to unmute yourself. Perfect.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and I should try to get over to my screen now. It should be here, compartir, and we should start it from here. Can everybody see it there? Is it okay?
Yes, Mats, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. So, welcome to this this meeting we will have together today. I will especially say welcome to 2 very good friends to me, Matthias up in Sweden and Enzo down in Italy, that I know you're looking at this, and I'm very happy to have you here and hear your comments after this also. So, and the rest of you also, I'm very happy to have you here. And I hope that we can have 1.5 hours, something like that, together, that we can talk a little bit later on also what my thoughts about the goalkeepers and the play of the goalkeeper for the moment. And we will go further into what more or less what happened in the last World Championship for the men in January in Sweden and Poland. I will use that as to talk deeper into the goalkeepers, no? So, and I think it's better if you are listening, who are listening to this, if you have any questions, write it down, and we take everything in the end of the presentation. No, I think it's sometimes when one have a question, the answer maybe will turn up during the presentation. No, so it will be a possibility for everybody to make questions in the end of the presentation. Okay, let's start a little bit. We will talk about trends in goalkeeper play, different styles, role and fast play, technical, tactical behavior in different match situations. So, this is the agenda, introduction, different styles, strategies, role and fast play, and we end with a summary, no? So, in the introduction, let's see, from the World Championship for Men 2023, we can see that was a clearly paradigm shift. What does that mean? Yes, for the first time in the Men's World Championship statistic history, the 9-meter shot was not the most used shot. And as I say here, we had it already in the World Championship for Women 2021. But now, for the first time, statistically, we can see that the most shot is coming from the 6 meters. The winners is, like I say, this time were the shots from 6 meters. So now it's not only a feeling what we goalkeeper coaches and the trainers and even the goalkeepers are feeling. We can also see it officially from the statistics that it is clearly more shot from 6 meters than from 9 meters. And that is very, very important to talk about, to know, have knowledge about this and talk about this when we should be coaching and training the goalkeepers. We have to know what is really happening when we are playing. No? So we had a total of 1,705 out of 9,056 shots from 9 meters. It was only 19% of all shots, and we had 36% of all shots coming from 6 meters. And 6 meters is not included the wing shots. That will be even more. So it's clearly that 36% is coming, and just 19% of the shots is coming from long distance, from 9 meters. This is very, very important to know when we talk about the paradigm shift, the training of the goalkeepers, the mentality, and how we should try to progress with the goalkeepers in the future. No? So let's go in and go further on. This was a little small introduction, and now we will go into and listen, talk a little about the different styles. No, and in my world, sometimes when you go out there and you want to buy some clothes or something, you can say one size fits all. I normally say that one size fits nobody, because if you say that one size fits everybody, it's something strange, no? But I think it's the same for the goalkeepers, that one style fits nobody. So when we are talking about goalkeeper styling, I think the most important thing is to think about how we work in the goal, no? And that every person is different. I want to go back to the 30s, 1930, almost 100 years ago. We had a person in that former Soviet Union that was called, or his name was Nikolai Bernstein. He was the first man, what they say scientifically, was studying to try to make the same movement and to be as efficient as possible. And when he studied this with high-speed cameras and everything that he tried to do, he discovered that variability isn't negative, but it's necessary for a normal function. And this we discovered for 100 years ago, more or less, studying it scientifically. And what does a blacksmith has to do with a goalkeeper? A lot, in a way of training at least. We are not training as blacksmiths, as goalkeepers, but the way of training, I think this is a fundamental that we have to have in the background, in our heads, when we are talking about training goalkeepers. So I want to, if we go to 2021, 90 years later, there is a book written by Rob Gray. So he said, How We Learn to Move, where we go further deeper into how we can learn to move, or how we learn to move. And one of the biggest things that he's talking about is what does the skill acquisition revolution look like in practice. It says clearly, stop training with repetitive isolated drills for perfect technique. Start offering opportunities to explore and guide adaptive responses to different constraints. This means that when we are talking about goalkeeper training, and we will talk about that even deeper when I go further on, but keep this in mind that when we are talking about the future, and I will show you also with the top goalkeepers, the different styles, the different way of thinking, and how, because I'm a little bit afraid of when I see sometimes goalkeeper training in younger generations, it's so much effort put into the technical, for the perfect technique. That's its secondary. The most important thing is how to learn to be a goalkeeper and to develop your skills, no? there is no perfect skill for being a goalkeeper. So if we look at the goal, 6 square meters, 3 meters per 2 meters, 6 square meters. And I want to show you a lot of times we have the goalkeepers are not the same height. They are not the same width. We have not the same physical preparations. So that's why I use normally this kind of roses, the red roses, very nice roses. And we can't put every rose to be in a single way. As you can see here, if you are tall rose, if you are small rose, you should not be working in one way. So when I see these kind of pictures of how a goalkeeper should be standing, how the technique should be going, how it should be working, I personally don't like it. Because this is not the right way to tell a goalkeeper how you should stand in the goal. Because that depends totally to each goalkeeper with their own possibility, their own way of standing there. No? So for me, that is very important that we can use the flowers. We can mix the flowers. We should know that the flowers of the goalkeepers, in my case, in our case, should be developed in the best way. So the red flower should continue to be red. The blue one should be blue, and the white one should be white. And that's why we can have goalkeepers like Andreas Palicka. I think everybody knows who is Andreas Palicka, and I hope so, because he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's playing with the Swedish national team and also in Paris Saint-Germain. And he's been working, he's been playing in Germany. I've been working with him, and I know him quite well. But if anyone in the beginning of Andreas Palicka's career had put him to be a rose, that he had to be playing in a certain style, we will never have this Andreas Palicka. We would have a goalkeeper that is totally normal. And if anyone had tried to make a technique for him that he should suit into a special technique, we will not have that goalkeeper. Luckily, Andreas from the beginning has had goalkeeper trainers, or even maybe he didn't have in the younger ranges any goalkeeper coach. So he developed his own style. And that is very important to know. He is not the only one. All the best goalkeepers in the world, all the goalkeepers that want to be making some difference to the rest, is playing on their own way. They are not going into one special technique or one special style. That is something I want to start with. Somebody of you who is out there have heard this before, but for me it's very important, so that I will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it every time I will talk about goalkeeping. I will take some small breaks sometimes also, because of the translation should go on. I know I speak fast, and I get a little bit engaged in this one. So if we continue here with the different styles, that one style fits nobody. Here we have two other goalkeepers, Pérez de Vargas from Spain, and Andreas Wolf from Germany. Two goalkeepers, excellent goalkeepers. Andreas Wolf was elected in the last World Championships as the best goalkeeper of the tournament. For me, he was the best one. The other one was also very good. But if we look at these two goalkeepers, two top goalkeepers, they are totally different in the physical preparations and the physical possibility, and they had totally different qualities, no? So there are no rules about the perfect style. The most important is to adapt the strategy and the training methods to each goalkeeper's possibilities and needs. So these two goalkeepers don't have the same coaches. They have different coaches, and their coaches, in this case, Mattias Andersson is working with Andreas Wolf with the German national team, and Mattias is working with the skills that will suit Andreas. And the goalkeeper coaches who works with Pérez de Vargas, they have to work with his skills. So that is very important. So we, the goalkeeper coaches, we have to adapt what we have to work with. So this is another way. We can't give the goalkeepers to make them like a marionette that we should tell them to do. We have to cut them off. Let them go by themselves. We can give them advices, of course, that's what our job. We can talk to them, but we have to let them fly. We have to let them walk. This is not Pinocchio's. This is they have escaped. They have to be in their own world and also have the feeling of what they want to do to be excellent goalkeepers. So this is a little bit of introduction about different styles, that one style fits nobody. Important. So if we go into the third, and we'll be a little bit looking more to the strategies, to the technical and tactical work of what we can see in the last World Championships. I will go back also a little bit. I wrote an article of the World Championships in Egypt, and I will use, some of you have read it and maybe have seen some other presentation with me, but as I don't know if everybody done it, I will make a small introduction in my point of view, my thoughts about the methodology of for saving. No? So if you look at that, we have the first part is to read the game, observe. And there, I will not take in now what will happen before the game. That is also another part of the goalkeeping. We start the games maybe 24 hours before the game, that we're studying the opponent, how we should play against certain players. No? But when we are inside the game, the first part is very, very important, to read the game, to observe what is really happening outside there. We have too many goalkeepers that are not too wide screen. They are not open-minded. They are having looking at just where the ball are. They are not looking what is happening with the players without the balls. Maybe they don't have the knowledge about handball. When you make different kind of plays, we have to know what will happen. We can prepare ourselves. So read the game and observe what is happening during the game is very, very important to be a good goalkeeper. And when we have read the game, we have to find the right position in the goal. And every moment we have to be in the right position. When we are on the right position, this is not before we should use any technique. So if I want to be a good goalkeeper, I should be winning time or space. And I can win time or space, or the both of them, to be in the right position when the player is coming to shoot against me. And like I said in the introduction, we have a lot more 6-meter shots today than we have ever had. So to find the right position in the game 1-against-1, the goalkeeper against the shooter or the finalizer, it's so important. The next step in the methodology for saving is the correction of the position, because the shooters or the finalizer are not always jumping straight up. They are moving. It's not like boxes that are staying still. They are moving. So we, as a goalkeeper, we have to make small corrections from the initial position to be in the right position when we have to put in the action. So I will show a little bit videos about this now, what I'm thinking, so you can see it clearly, what I really mean in this kind of, in this methodology, the read the game, position, correction, action. If we have this always in mind, and we can also, when we discuss with the goalkeepers, we can discuss, okay, did you really read the game? Did you find the right position? Did you make the right correction after the shooter has been jumping? Or we can go to the last one and ask, did you decide the right action? Did you have the good technique? What I said in the beginning, a lot of goalkeepers or goalkeeper trainers, goalkeeper coaches, maybe they're putting too much effort into the fourth part, the action, the technique, and not thinking so much about the rest of the 3 first things: to read the game, the position, and the correction. That is, in my point of view, the most important part of the goalkeeping. The action, it's also important, but sometimes maybe it's too much training in just in that part comparing with the rest. So a little bit text. I will the developments in 2023 comparing with 2021, clear improvement. I will not read all this because if we take away the text, you have it later on, and we'll go down here. We can say today. Nowadays, the goalkeepers have even less time than before. There is higher speed of the game. It's more important for the goalkeeper to be able to look into the short future, to see what will happen in 2 or 3 seconds, to be there, like I said, in the right position and make the correction. We have better body control and less tension. We have to increase the level of reading the game. And we have to practice what I think that the best goalkeepers are doing. They are practice and play at a high level with a high intensity to be used to have less time to take decisions. This is a thing I think it's important for you that it's out there listening. It's if we go to another sports and also in handball, when we goalkeeper, if we train and we practice at 70-80% of speed, of shooting, of the movements of the goalkeepers, and then we think that suddenly when we come to the game in the weekend, that everything will be at 100%, it will not work. We have to try to train as close as possible to what will happen in the end to the weekend when we will play the games. For example, I don't think maybe some of you out there are fans of, for example, Formula 1. If they are training and they are moving your cars at a speed of like you and I when we're driving on the road, and then in the weekend they should go to Formula 1 drive, they will crash. They will not have any possibility to compete. So everybody in the sport who wants to be at the top level has to be training as close as possible to the real life. And I think sometimes when we're training with the goalkeepers, we are not doing that. But I know that the best are doing it. So they are practicing and they are playing at a high level with a high intensity to be used to train their brains and train their bodies to be used to have less time to take decisions. The problem is sometimes if you are training in a low intensity, maybe you have 4 or 5 seconds to take the decisions, but when you come to the game, you have 2 seconds. So your brain is not prepared to take the quick decisions. Let's see. We will start the first video about the tactical behaviors. Let's look at Andreas Wolf. It's not when I'm taking out these videos, it's not because of the person. Of course, I have choose the goalkeepers from the best teams. I've choose the videos from the 8th quarterfinalists in the World Championships because they were the best goalkeepers, were among these 8 teams. And that is a result. It's like who's coming first, the egg or the chicken who's given the egg. So we have to be there to be aware of. If you want to be in the top team, you need good goalkeepers, and the team need or the opposite also. The good goalkeepers need a good team. So that is what is happening with these all 8 teams, no? But let's look at this situation, and I will later on also explain. As you saw in that, we will have a repetition on it. I will find here so I can stop it also and do it. It will be a repetition, so you will see it once again. What is happening here in the game when the Egyptian team is coming to shoot. Excellent save from Andreas. Okay, let's see what happened. If we'll start here from the beginning, we can see that Andreas, the goalkeeper, is reading the game. And he will now start to see what is really happening. In this moment, we can see when the ball is coming to the pivot, he is now getting into the right position. And now when the pivot is putting himself in this situation to finalize, we can see that the goalkeeper, Andreas, is making a small correction. He's moving, did you see that? He was moving small steps in the same way where the shooter is coming. So he was not stopping in the position, initial position. He was not stopping there. He was going with him, and then he's making the small action. So for me, this is a very good video clip to show what I'm talking about. Reading the game, position, correction, and then in the last moment, he makes the action and saves the ball. So it's a very good example to show what I'm meaning from the methodology of saving. This is from the school book. Reading the game, position, correction, action. We have another one. Oh, sorry. I will go back. I just wanted to stop it. This is the one. I should see it there. Now we can see another kind where the same goalkeeper. No, it's not. We have to go to the other one. Okay, let's go. Sorry about that. It was a little bit step for me. The second micro moment was about finding the right position in the 1-against-1 situation. Here we can also observe a clear improvement. We go to read it there. What I wanted to say is the development and improvement from 21 to 23 from the best goalkeepers. That is the first initial position was better this year than before. So the correction phase was a little bit less. We have a better starting position, and with more calmness and observe the trajectory of the finalizer. Nowadays, they play more with the depth of the initial position, sometimes more defensive and other times attacking. So when I'm talking about this, and we will show also a video here with Andreas, that it's not always to put yourself in the same position, in the same depth. You can play a little bit with that. And if you have the right position from the beginning, you have more time also to look about the finalizer, what he will do, or she. In this case, we have from the World Championships of Men, but I hope that everybody knows out there that I'm working in the both worlds, in the men's world and the women's world. And my methodology, it's not making any difference if it's women or men I'm working with. I work with the same kind of methodology. So let's see what's happening here. In this video, this is no repetition on this one, but I want to show you. We have the same goalkeeper. He's concentrated here, what is happening here. But in the same time, he has a split vision. He's seeing what's happening here. He is seeing in some way that this player is coming running in. Here, you can see it. Now he's getting into the position, slowly getting out of the position. And now he can see he found the right position. So when the player is coming up, the player who is coming, running in, is under more stress than the goalkeeper. Because if the goalkeeper has found the right position from the beginning, and now he can look at the player, now he has more time to observe the small things from the player that you can learn as a goalkeeper. This is a lot about experience, and also we should try to learn it during the younger ages. But in this moment, we can see that he can read. He can read what the player is thought to do. If we look at once again, we can see that the goalkeeper is not making a movement and hope that the ball is hitting him. We can clearly see that he has read first here what will happen. He will make a read the game. Oh, sorry. And then he can see that the player is planning with something in his body language that is doing that the ball is coming down here. And we can see it's a clear save from the goalkeeper that he has seen something from the players observing him, that the ball will come down there. So this is the very important also, if we can, in this way of working with the goalkeepers, that they can, the initial position, give them more possibility to observe these small things in the body language of the shooters. Okay, we have, I think this is the next video. Yes, this will be the next video. I have another video here. Let's just start here. This is another one from Andre Wolf. And like I said before, in the beginning, it's not for the position, it should not always be the same. We have the same goalkeeper. I've used it because I want to show you. It's very easy to talk that you should use different styles if I pick up different goalkeepers. But that's why I choose in this time the same goalkeeper. And that is why Andreas Wolf from Germany is one of the best goalkeepers, because he's not always putting himself in the same position. Now we saw in this case, he had a defensive position, and this time he will make it quite different. Now this is the same video, and then we go to the next video. It's sometimes a little bit tricky driving on here. Here we can see, and the last one, in the previous one, Andrea was staying in a defensive position. And this time, the same goalkeeper reads the game, and he takes a decision. Oh, sorry. This is with the videos, what's happening, something. Here, in a small second, here, he can see it's not too good to be in a defensive position in the goal. And this time it takes a decision, okay, I have to attack him. Even if I'm a little bit late in the starting, I have to attack him because he's coming in the middle. So I have to go closer to him. And he takes the right decision this time also. He's going forward and making attacking save. So if you see this kind, we're talking about different styles, we're talking about the different things. So we have to go quick to action. So we have to be prepared. We have to prepare the goalkeepers for all these kinds. But everything what we have seen here has starting with a read the game from the goalkeeper, finding the right position. And the right position is not always the same position. It's very important to know that it's not one single position in the goal that is good. Sometimes it's better to be defensive, and sometimes it's better to be offensive. But when you decide, you take the decision as a goalkeeper, not that the player that is shooting put you where you have to be. We go further on. The other micro moment, the position as the goalkeeper, a better position initially. They don't need to make big changes over the position, and they can make a smaller details from the finalizer and take better decisions. We have it here, better position initially, more focus on the small details, and then take better decisions. And this time, now we go over from Andreas Wolf, and now we can see a video from Vincent Gerard from the French team that he's making what we are talking about. A little bit like when, a little bit similar to Andreas in one of the videos we saw. We can see that Vincent is concentrated, reading the game. And when this is happening here, we can see when the player is still 2 meters away from the line, we can see that Vincent is now starting to get into the position. And when he's doing that, now he's in a good position, and he can, like I said before, he's observing the player, because he's not making a movement to be hit by the ball. He's making a save. He's taking the ball with a left foot. This is not a normal save, to say, in this position for normal goalkeepers. The good goalkeepers, the best goalkeepers, see these things and make these kind of saves. Because here we can clearly see that Vincent Gerard has gone to the ball. He's attacking the ball. He's making a save with a foot. He's not hit. So that's a good save from Vincent. Okay. We will have As you guys see, we also have a clip from London. I will see it here now. This is not so often that we see Niklas Landin making these kind of saves, but it's a good. I like this kind of saves. I like all the saves, of course. But if you look at once again, it's the same. We start with the reading the game. The Spanish team is making getting in with a wing player, and now, as a goalkeeper with experience, they know that this situation here is dangerous because they want to play a 2 against 2 situation. That is reading the game. And he also know at this situation, when this player is coming out, that this situation is what they want to try to reach. So if we observe Niklas here, he's coming forward into a good position and making a save, reading something. Here is 2 possibilities. You can see it from the backside. I should have it here once again. Here we have 2 possibilities. One possibility is that Niklas Landin know from preparing the game the day before that if this player is coming in this situation, he likes to shoot down. Or something is telling him in this situation that the player is waiting so long, so the shot will come down. So we can see it's a little bit of a save, the same style that Vincent Gerard. He's going for the ball. He's making something that is not usual. He's not making the goalkeeper, typical goalkeeper, going forward, making it as big as possible and hope to be hit. No, he's making an action. And the other thing I want to say from this is this view of the camera. No, this is a very good view from the camera to also work with the goalkeepers, with the camera perspective from behind the goals. We can talk about that in other times, but it's a very good perspective to be close to the goalkeepers or work with them. Okay, we should go further on to the next one. And the fourth and the last micro moment is the action. And I think, like I said, the biggest improvement has been in this part of the goalkeeping. It's a lot of text here, but if we turn it down, we can say the biggest improvement has been in this part of the goalkeeping. More different strategies from the goalkeepers, tactics and techniques. It's a clear strategy from the best to try to be unpredictables. That's very important. The best one want to be unpredictable because they should not know if the finalizer, the shooter, is coming close to the goal from the 6-meter line that we are talking about now. Should not know if the goalkeeper is coming close up to me or staying in a more defense style, or which kind of technique he will use. If you always use the same technique, the players knows it. If we can even go to not so good goalkeepers or younger goalkeepers, we can find that they 75 or 80% are lifting the same leg. If they're getting into a situation against a pivot player or against a breakthrough, for example, a lot of goalkeepers are using the same leg as standing on the floor and using the other legs to getting against the ball 75-80% of the time. And that is not a good goalkeeping. If we are predictable, we are not good goalkeepers. We should be unpredictable for the shooters. They should not know what we are doing. We also see that the same goalkeepers master several different techniques that makes them even more unpredictable. So this is what we can see, the development of the best goalkeepers and what we have to learn, the younger ones and not so good, to be more unpredictable. We should go further on here and we can see some videos about this. I think in this video, I've chosen the same technique, more or less, from 2 different goalkeepers. The first one is Niklas Landin from Denmark. This is one technique that Niklas has been using for a time, faking. When he is coming, we should stop it here. He's faking a little bit here. He's telling this player, we can go a little bit back. Oh, shit. we go a little bit back here, and I should go here. You can see that Niklas in this moment, now when the player is still with the ball in the hand, Niklas is starting to getting up with his leg, and he is giving a signal to the Spanish shooter what he will do. And then the Spanish shooter says, okay, you go up with this leg, I can shoot outside your right leg because you can't take that one. And what Niklas is doing is just what he wanted to do. He wanted to fake him and then let him shoot down on the right leg. So this is an unpredictable goalkeeper that is taking the initiative against the shooter and making a fake to shoot, to save him. And that is a very good technique. And we can see the same technique now from Perez de Vargas, but he's doing the opposite. In this case, we saw that Niklas was using the left leg, and now we can see that Perez de Vargas will do the opposite. He goes with the outside leg and saves with the inside hand. You see when it's coming back on the replay. It will be coming back. Actually, sometimes Perez de Vargas, excellent goalkeeper also. So we can see here, he is showing that he wants to go up with the right leg. And this is maybe not only fake. He wants to cover this part of the body with the right leg and the hand. But in the same way, he knows that it's a big possibility that this player is a good player, will shoot down here. And he saves it. And then we can clearly see that these two goalkeepers are taking the initiative. They are not predictable. They are doing something that the players that is coming against them in the 6 against 6 with different styles is something that they have the possibility to save the ball. We have to go to the next one, and we go to Andreas Palicka, the Swedish goalkeeper that was talking in the beginning, to see technical behaviors, other styles. We can see two different sides here from him, from the same goals game, from the same goalkeeper at least. We saw the first one, like I said in the beginning. We can see here. I should try to make it better there. We can see that Andreas in this moment are having a clearly defensive style. When he's reading the game, he's prepared, but we can see that Palicka is famous today, an attacking goalkeeper. So it's very good for that he sometimes don't attack, because this player who is going forward to Andreas Palicka thinks that he will attack. But he doesn't take that decision this time. He's waiting for him and make a save by waiting for him. That's very good to see. The position is very defensive, but it's not a passive. We have to be different between defensive and passive. He's defensive, but he's mentally very focused and knows what he can expect to happen. And the same goalkeeper, more or less in the same situation, we can see that he has other weapons, no? It's not the same game. This is against France. And then we saw, in the same situation from the first one, I should go further forward here. We go to the second game. I think it's Dikamem who's making a breakthrough. He's coming here, and this time Palicka takes the decision to go forward, to meet him, not wait for him. And when you do that, he's coming here, and he's also observing that the ball will come down, and he's making a technique that he can take from here to here, from left to right. He has a good technique. He's going further down because he has been reading the small signals from the shooter that the ball will come down. So he's getting down against it. It's very good action from Andreas Palicka. unpredictable. So this was that one. It's coming back to the same video. Now we will see something that I've never seen before. This is something new. I don't know if Perez de Vargas has been looking. This is look a little bit like a football style when they're coming into close to the goal. If we can see, I liked it a lot when I saw it. I said, oh, this is nice. Something new. When we see here from the replay, we can see here he is sitting already down. He is sitting. Sometimes you can see this in football when because of the ball is coming with the feet. And so a lot of goalkeepers are getting down to the knees and saves with the arms. And this time I can see that Perez de Vargas has used this technique in the handball goal. He is clearly down, waiting for the player to come. We go back here from the beginning. Sorry, we can see it even better here. When he's sitting here on the knee, he's getting down and he's just covering this, but he also have a very good control over his body and can save with arms. So this is, for me, I've never seen it before from Perez de Vargas, and that's very good, nice to see. Development of the players. I can understand that the player is a little bit surprised. Gitzel, when he's coming through, what happened? The goalkeeper was not coming to him. He had it unpredictable, totally unpredictable. Very nice strategic and technique from Perez de Vargas. And these things I can say, how do you train this? A lot of times we can see goalkeepers that are training old methods, old-fashioned techniques. This is living in the moment. This is technique that we have to be feeling when they are there. Maybe, I think, this is not the first time that Perez de Vargas is making this kind of save, but was the first time I saw it in the World Championship in the top game. Maybe he's doing it a lot in the training because he needs training to do it. But when he's doing it, he's not making the same repetition to it be technically perfect. He's more concentrated on the ball. He's more concentrated on the player to save the ball. Okay. This is the one. We should go to the next one. And that should be, we have another one from Perez de Vargas, where we can see him and he should be first, very defensive. And this was a little bit to show that he is coming more or less in the same situation that Gitzel in the last game. But this time is, I think, is Rankind in Norway who's coming through. But this time, Perez de Vargas, he's not going down to his knees. He's waiting for him. He's defensive, but concentrated, focused. And in the moment of the shot, he makes more or less like Andreas Palika. I said, you see that the player's coming in and he's losing a little bit of the body control there. So it's very important also, what I said in the beginning, that the goalkeeper observe what the signals that's coming from the players. And what he maybe sees in this situation, I suppose, is that he can see that the players have lost a little bit of his body balance. The shoulders and the head is going down, so it will be very complicated for him to make a shot in the upper part of the goal. And what is the solution for Perez de Vargas? It's go down. He covers the lowest part of the, but that is not that he's doing it because he decided before Rankin was coming into the situation. He took the decision, probably, when we go a little bit back here, when he can see this situation of the players. Now I think it's when Perez de Vargas is taking the decision, he can just shoot down. I have to go down. So this is the moment when he's going down. And that is to be unpredictable, to read the game, to be there, or read also not only the game, read the situation and take the right decision about the action. This is clearly things that I'm observing in the last World Championships. about the goalkeepers and the development of the goalkeepers. Find the right position or right position. What is the right position? To find different positions, sometimes attacking, sometimes be more defensive. Use to be more control of their own bodies, to go to the perfect position, more initiality, don't put so much time into the correction. And then they could be taking these kind of decisions in the actions. And there is where I see the clear difference from the goalkeepers. And it's, of course, it should be like this. If we now are receiving more 6-meter shots than 9-meter shots, we should develop, especially on the 6-meter shots, no? So, but I'm very happy to see that this development is coming. And it's coming, and I see what I said in the beginning. One style fits nobody. Everybody has to use their own style after their own possibilities. So, if we go further on, and we were talking a bit about the role in fast play. The role in fast play, first of all, I want to ask, what is the definition of fast play? In this presentation, I will use the transitions phases as the definition for the fast play. The fast play is, for me, the first moments of defending after losing the ball in attack until the defending team is organized. We can see it on the upper photo here. That is a moment when we have 1 French players against 3, but this moment is one part of the fast phase. But it could also be, even if the Danish team have been there 5 of them, but they are not quite in the right positions. Maybe the defender specialists have not entered the court yet. So this is the fast play, no? And the fast play from the attacker is from the moment that the goalkeeper controls the ball and starts the counter-attack or quick throw. Here we have a picture from Andreas Palicka. He was even up in the middle of the court. So this is also to see goalkeepers that is taking part of the attacking game. No, as I will say here in the next part, what is the goalkeeper role in the fast play? This definition, as I said, of fast plays gives the objectives of what is the goalkeeper role. The goalkeeper is always the last defender, with the main target to avoid the ball getting into the goal. We should never forget this. We should never forget this. A lot of times when I talk to goalkeepers and so on, we have to be aware of what is our role in the game. We have taken the decision, I want to be a goalkeeper. Yes, it's very nice. I love to be a goalkeeper. But we also have to be aware of that our position is to try to save the team when there have been mistakes on the court. There have been some mistakes on the court, and we have to be there. We are the last opportunity for the team to not receive a goal. So we have to be very well prepared for that. And then we are the last defender, and we are the first attacker. We are the first attacker. So when we are saving the ball, or the ball is coming outside the court, or even today, when it's a goal, we have to make the quick throw if we want to do it. So we are the first attacker, we are the last defender, and we are first attacker. So we are the most important person in handball. No doubts about that. Okay? So if I will show you a video here, what is really fast play? I think this video, it starts in 19 minutes, 37 seconds. I will just let it roll. I think it's about 25 seconds. Look at it. Goal, quick throw off. Goal. Perez de Vargas, quick throw off. Ekberg running home. Next situation. Goal. 57. So, (2007). We were coming from 1937 to 2007. We had 4 times that the ball was shot to the goal. 4 times in 30 seconds. This is fast play. Okay, in this moment, we didn't have any save. It was 2 goals to the Swedish team was receiving, and the Spanish team was receiving 2 goals. This first half of the bronze medal match in Sweden in the last World Championships was, I think it was one of the most high quality fast play games that been playing for the last years. It was incredible to see. I was even tired sitting on the looking at the game because it was so intensive. Maybe the defenders were not so good, but it was a clearly a tactic from the Swedish team that they wanted to play as a high speed as possible. So this is a little bit, this is fast play. The role in fast play, okay, it's not in this case, we can see the role was more or less to start the attack or take the ball out to make a quick throw off, no? So I think also it's very important about talk about the mindset here. The primary task for a goalkeeper will always be to stop the attack. The goalkeeper is the last defender, as I said. This objective can never change, but sometimes in some coaches and maybe some goalkeepers' mindsets, it seems like they put more effort into the next phase, start the attack, than stop the former attack. Never forget that with receiving a goal, you can never get more than an even result, even if you're quick with a throw-off. Because sometimes I get a feeling that the goalkeeper is not working 100% to save the ball. They have maybe 95% concentrated to save the ball, but they have 5% thinking about, I should go out, quick throw off with the ball, quick throw off with the ball. And that 5% is taking away the concentration from the goalkeeper to save the ball. For me, to play 1-1, if the goalkeeper saves the ball from the attacker in a quick throw off or whatever, and is more concentrated than that, then we have the possibility to win this situation about 1 defense, 1 attack with 1-0. But if the other team scores, it can just be 1-1. It can just be 1-1. So if we as a team want to win the games, we have to probably we have to have more saves than other teams. So this is a little about mindset. I think that we should not always, because we have fast play, think about that we have to play fast play. We have to also to think about that the goalkeeper should have the possibility to be concentrated to save the ball that is coming. A little bit reminder, think about that, the mindset about that. So the role in fast play we have 2. We have the defense phase coming into the court. If we are playing the team, the head coach had decided to play 7 against 6, or like I would say 99% of the teams are doing today, with when one player have a 2-minute suspension, they are playing 6 against 6 with a goalkeeper out of the court. And then we have the first way. We have the 3 first things that the goalkeeper have to be aware of in the fast place and the defense place. If I'm sitting on the bench as a goalkeeper, I have to be observing the game, of course. I have to be aware of what's happening. I can't run in too soon or not too late. I have to be observing. I have to make a quick running into my position. And during this time, I need to do orientation. I have to orient myself. I have to be, even if when I start to run in, I have to see what is the attacking team now coming with, the team that was defending. What are they coming with? Is it the wing player on the other side? Where are they attacking? Try to orient so much as possible during the time you're running in. The rest of it will be as normal. Observe, reading the game, position, correction, action. I will show you a video here. From the beginning, we don't see that it is a situation that Kevin Möller in the Danish team is running in. But we can see it here. They say here, empty goal. That the Danish team is empty goal. They are playing with 1 less player. They're playing 6 against 6 against France in the final. The score is 22-23. It's an important moment of the game. Who is going to take the advantage in the game. And Denmark is attacking. The French team is having the ball. We have not seen, but we will see in the replay that Kevin Müller was running in. And this was very important save from Kevin. Very important save. It was more important to save this ball than to make a quick throw off. I should pick up this one here. If we go a little bit back, now we go a little bit back here. Sorry about this. So here, the shot is coming from the Danish team into the post. The French team is taking over the ball. And how? Now we can see. Here is Kevin Müller. The Danish player, first Danish player is coming out, and he's running in. So now we can see he has to sprint. He is sprinting. And in the same time, we can see he's turning his head around to see, to observe, to make a small orientation. Where are the players that is coming? He is coming in, turning around, try to orient and find his position. And now we can stand and we can see that he's in a good position. And now he's making a very good save, like a little bit like Pedestal Vargas before. He's going down with the players, but we can see he's had enough time when he was running in to orient, to go into the right position and be in the right moment and observing the player and make the save. This is what I say is very important for the goalkeepers. Our job is to be the last defender. It was a crucial moment for the Danish team to save this ball. Okay. The secondary task for the goalkeeper will always be to start the attack. Like I said, we are the last defender and we are the first attacker. Here we can see that Andreas Wolf is also making a little bit of Andreas Palika. I don't know if because their name is Andreas, but they're outside the court running. They like to dribble and they are good players. And it's also important when we're talking about goalkeeper training that we should not be, but we don't know what we should do or not do outside the court. We have to be handball players. So it's quite good for me that the goalkeeper is also outside the 6 meter fields running with the ball. And the goalkeeper has an important role here too. We have to be, we have to, like I said, the phase for the goalkeeper is to orient, observe, decide, action. But here is different, no? Because now we don't have to observe for what will come to me. Now we have to see what can I do as the best for the team. So the first we think we are orientation. The orientation is now to see, okay, where are my players? To observe, is there any defender that is close? Can I make a quick throw? Take a decision and action. And of course, a little bit about the tactics from the team also, if you want to have long passes or short passes, no? And if we want a specific player that we should pass the ball so the team can go on a team counterattack, or if we want a quick throw off or not. That's some decisions that maybe the head coach and the coaches of the team has to do to decide and describe for the goalkeepers that now we play without a quick throw off. Now we play with quick throw offs. We don't make any long passes. We make short passes. Try to find a playmaker who's coming up. These decisions that should be inside the brain of the goalkeeper also. This will be the last video, and after this video, I will make a small thing that I will say. This is what I said. This is one of the objectives for the goalkeepers to be the first attacker. Here we can see that the French team is making a technical fault, and it's clearly easy here for the goalkeeper. But now we can see Andreas, he knows the Gretzky is one of the players from the German team that should go on counterattack. So he starts to look at him, and he makes a pass. that is very good because it's putting it forward to him over the players so that the players can run into the ball. We need this kind of technique from the goalkeepers and the passes technique, that he can run into the ball, or sometimes we have to have hard, quick throw-offs or whatever. What is interesting in this, a part of that it's a good pass and technically good, I was looking to find passes, assists from the goalkeepers in the World Championships. I can say this is one thing that is getting less and less. When I was looking for the statistics and the games, I was looking forward all the games, the 4 quarterfinals, the 2 semifinals, the bronze medal match, and the final, 8 games in total. I found, and this was surprising for me, found just 3 assists from the goalkeepers. 3 assists from the goalkeepers. 1 from Landin, 1 from Lönnle, and 1 from Andreas Wolf. In these top games, the 8 last games on the World Championships, when the 8 best teams are playing against each other, there was just 3 long passes from the goalkeeper. That like this. That this is one of the 3. So we also have to be aware of this. Nowadays, maybe, first of all, I think the team is better to defend in this phase. They are better to run home, taking away the possibility to make long passes. And maybe also the coaches prefer to have a counter-attack with a whole team and not only the long passes, because it could be some risky, and sometimes if the goalkeeper is not in the highest level to make these passes. But the surprise was in 8 games, it was only 3 passes we can say that was long passes. A direct assist from the goalkeeper to the shooter. So we're coming into the end of today's speech. I will make a small summary. And for me, I've been talking here about the best goalkeepers from the World Championships, and I said learn from the best, but not copy. No, I'll copy paste. When I talk about learn, it's not just copy the action. I take away the text. It isn't just copy the action, understand. It's better to understand why and how this action was prepared and used in this particular situation of the better goalkeepers. So for me, this keep calm and understand. Don't try to copy exactly the actions from Wolf, from Landin, from Vargas, from Palika and the other good goalkeepers. Learn from them and try to understand why they are using it, and try to develop your own goalkeepers. What is the better skills of them? So learn from the best, but not copy. Development in the training methods. I say sometimes we stay behind with old methods in the goalkeeper training and are doing the same things as always. Like they say, keep calm and continue with business as usual. No, it's important to follow up the development of the handball game in general and learn from it and think about how to bring it into modern goalkeeper training. I think a lot of times we're a little bit backwards there. Not everybody, but somebody. So never stop learning. That's for me. I'm getting, every year we're getting a little bit older. We get a little bit, but for me, the day when I stop learning, I think I will stop also educate others. Because that's for me is the most important thing. I want to learn. I want to be better. When I go to practice with my goalkeepers, I'm working, for example, with Katrine Lunde, the Norwegian goalkeeper. She's 43 years old now. Excellent goalkeepers. And she is not expecting from me that we should do the same thing that we made 1 year ago. She wants new things. She wants to be challenged. She has been there for 20 years playing top handball, and she will continue. That's a good example. She don't stop learning, and I, who works with her, I can't stop learning either. I have to come with some new things for her also. It's a good example to show. So that's important. And the last thing I want to talk about before before we go into the questions. I talk about consistency. I have found a new way of talking. I talk about popcorn goalkeepers. That is the goalkeepers that pop up in one game or two due to an excellent day emotionally and physically. But maybe they don't have the strategic and the understanding and the consistency in the daily training to reach the next level, to play a high level over time. How and what we practice marks what we do in the games over time. So for me, we have to coach these goalkeepers that maybe they have excellent skills, they have good things, but they are just what I call popcorn goalkeepers. They play one game or two games over in championships, or when we are playing in the home in the league, when you come to the game, you don't know as a coach what will happen today with the goalkeeper. Will he be popping or will he be falling down? Will he help me with an excellent day and make a lot of saves, or has a bad day emotionally, physically, or whatever? They are missing the consistency. They have to be working on a level, high level over time to come in to not only be popcorn goalkeepers, to be really goalkeepers at a high level over time. So, my friends out there all over the world, I came to the end of my presentation here. So I hope you're still there, that not everybody have run away and said this crazy guy from Sweden. I hope that you are still there and you have some questions. And
there are, Mats, there are a few questions, and there are a few hundreds attendees still in the presentation. So you did a very good job by explaining the new trends in goalkeepers play. The first question is about different goalkeeping schools. You had Andreas Palika from Sweden, you had Niklas Landin from Denmark, you had Gonzalo Perez de Vargas from Spain in your presentation. Do these goalkeeping schools, Scandinavian, Spanish, and etc., adapt to the way the game is being played now?
Yeah, I want to say that this kind of thinking, goalkeeping schools, is now it's a little bit old-fashioned, no? Because before in Europe we could talk about the Scandinavian school, we talked about the Balkan school, we could sometimes even talking about the German school. We had also a little bit of the Russian school. But like all handball, it has been so mixed today. We are coaches that are going over the borders, we are players going over the borders. The game is playing more or less the same style all over the world. So for me, it's not the different schools, no. It's like I said in the beginning, one size fits nobody, no, and one style fits nobody. So even if I'm Perez de Vargas, or I would put Perez de Vargas and Palik a little bit in the same, because more of the physical, no, and you can put Landin and Andreas Wolf more into the same also, more because of the physical skills they have, no, and not only because of the if the height and the possibility there, it's also the way of what kind of person are you, what kind of character are you. I'm, for example, working in Norway with the club Elverum, and I have two goalkeepers there, one Norwegian guy, Emil Imsgaard, who is 190 a lot, and he is very calm and standing in the position. And I have Simon Mitsera, who is a Czech guy, and he is more like Andreas Palika. So my job is there, even if they are playing in the same league, to try to develop them in their personal possibilities. No, so a little bit of these schools, we have to go away from that and think more in the individual person. No?
Thank you for this. One other question is how what training sessions can be applied, or what should be done in training sessions to improve the decision-making aspect for goalkeepers, both trying to stop shots like you showed with Gonzalo Perez de Vargas, making like a football stance to stop the shots, but also in the role play in delivering passes on counterattacks.
Yeah, that's for sure. For me, it's very important that the most important part of the goalkeeper training for me is when the goalkeeper is really standing in the goal. For me, when I'm in training with my goalkeepers, I try to coach them to not to be with the goalkeeper on the opposite part of the goal, that I'm standing by myself shooting shots on the player without any defenders or something. I prefer to be on the part where the goalkeeper are standing with the defenders and try to talk to them. And then we can also make exercises with the player. For example, when we are warming up, I think when I go around the world and I see warming up of the goalkeepers, I'm so disappointed. I see that 90% is throwing away of the time. They're making the same exercises that they've always been doing, left, right, up and down, down. Now we are ready. Then, okay, now we can train. This part of the training is where you can use this, what we are talking, learning in new skills. I put my players into situation, for example, if I want to train a new situation with the breakthroughs or whatever, I put this situation into the warming up sessions for the goalkeepers. And I want them to use these techniques, try something new. What will you do here? I put my players to, now you have to shoot when you're coming outside the number 2, you have to shoot in the long corner, in the middle height or whatever, what I want to practice. And I oblige them to do there. And I'm trying to take away the training from the standard warming up that 95% of the player goalkeeper trainers are using all over the world. It's a lot of time that we should use there from different exercises. We're doing too much copy paste and doing what we did for 15, 20 years ago.
There is a question regarding this. We've just received it. If the goalkeepers do want to take the same warming up techniques, they don't want to change, how can the goalkeeping coach change it? Because you've told us that you like to learn and bring new things to the player. So what's one tip from you that can be used?
Okay, a small joke, but change the goalkeeper. No, that's one part. But I has to, as a goalkeeper coach, try to explain why we are doing it. For me, for example, when I talk about goalkeeper that have been experienced goalkeepers, I don't have any old goalkeeper. I have less or more experienced goalkeepers. But the experienced goalkeepers, they will also feel a little bit of they don't want to always go out of the comfort zone, or what we call it, no. But you have to explain for them also that the game have developed, that we will do the both of it. So when I train, work with the goalkeepers with more experience, I mix it. I put something that they feel comfortable, okay, and now we put in one exercise, that is my exercise. Now I will want you to do this, but you have done yours, now you do mine. And in that way, we can work together. And we said, okay, now you're comfort. Now you've made your warming up. You're feeling ready for the training. But in the same time, maybe we can put in something new. And it's another thing that is very important in this. No, when we do something new to experienced goalkeepers, we can't do that in the season when we have the most important games. For me, it's very important if I want to put in some new techniques, or if I want to change some techniques of the goalkeepers, I have to do it in the season where there are no important games. Probably in the preseason, or for example, if the league has stopped because the championships of World Championships or the European Championships, then I can work with the goalkeepers technically. Because it's very dangerous to go into the brain to the goalkeeper during the season, 2 days before we have an important games, try to learn a new technique. That is not a good option.
Training young goalkeepers at a younger age categories, is it different than training experienced goalkeepers? What are the main differences between these two aspects?
Oh, it's a big difference, no? Like I said here, because when I'm talking about the experience, they have something with them, no? So they have some movements and some experience. They have been doing this for a long time. I will know more or less what will happen. But like I said, the handball is developing, so they also have to learn the new. No? But the younger ones, they are not, they don't mark yet. They don't have this movement inside the body. Some of them good, and maybe sometimes it's not bad. So it's when you work with a goalkeeper that is not experienced, so important that the movements and the action and the thinking will be right from the beginning, you know. And I also, when I talk about very young goalkeepers, I prefer to not to start to work with techniques until 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. Before that, it's more important to be motricity, coordination, learn handball. You don't know who is going to be a handball goalkeeper. There are some sports in the world that it's important to start very early to be an excellent athlete. But being a goalkeeper in handball, it's not the best way to start too early to just being in the goal and think you can learn the excellent technique. No, so it's more important. The younger you are, you work with more motricity, coordination, and all that kind of physical skills that you will need when you're coming up a little bit older. But it's important to know also that, for example, when you're young, you should learn to make a save with one hand, two hands. You should make a save with the knee close to the body, with a straight leg, and the 6-meter shots, and so on. So it's a lot of techniques that you should learn. But the older one, they have it now.
You've mentioned Katarina Lunde. We're shifting a bit away from men's handball. You've mentioned Katarina Lunde and how dominating she was in the past 20 years. How important is the mental part of a goalkeeper? Because goalkeepers say they are pretty much alone when the team attacks and so on. But Katarina Lunde is one of the players which dominated between the goalposts, starting from the start of the game, if I may say that, and basically entering the minds of the opponents, right? So how important is that mental aspect, and how important being mentally well and focused and totally focused on the game is for a goalkeeper to bring the best game from him or her?
It's I should say like this, to make it easy to say it. More than 50% of the goalkeeping of the top goalkeepers is mental, the mental game. Katarina Lunde, as we are talking right now directly, she has a mental skill that it's making her that great, no? And you can see it also. When they're getting into the court, they are getting into the court and say, "Okay, here I am. I'm taking this court it's my area. I will take the possibility to win this game." No, and they are highly respected in their teams, not only to be a good goalkeeper, but to talk to the players, to say to the players how they want to be helped by the defenders. When we should attack, they have in a hierarchy inside the game, inside the team, a very high position. So for me, this sometimes when we are working together, Katarina and I, and we are coming into the end of championships, the problem with the best goalkeepers, and for example, Katarina, is not the physical load, it's the mental load. If we are playing a world championship with 8 or 9 games, and the last one is the most important one, the final, that is for me one of the jobs to try a lot of times during the championship, take away the mental load for the goalkeepers, because they have to be fresh when we come into play, because they are very, very, very tired mentally for the mental load in 8 games in 16 days or whatever it is. So for me, the best goalkeepers, in this case, Katarina Lunde, is because of she is very, very strong mentally in a lot of aspects. No, not only to be I'm strong. No, it's the thinking of handball.
And one last question, Mats, because in the start of your presentation, you've said that things have changed. More shots are coming from the 6-meter line, not from the 9-meter line, from the backs, only in 2 or 3 years. So how do you think the future will look for goalkeepers, and what are you looking for in the next years?
Yeah, I think what we see now will continue for a couple of years now. I'm sitting also in the commission, method commission, and I think we will not go back. I don't think that the game will be slower. I don't think that we will have a lot of shots from the 9 meters line in the moment, because the game that we have now is quite attractive. We are taking away the brutal defense, the hard defense. Some people think it's a little bit too soft, but I don't think it will be big changes. So the only thing that I miss in the development of handball, and I think it's quite pity that we are not having so much open defense anymore. But we are coming to 6 meter shots, even if they're close defenses. No, but I see this. The speed, the individual skills of the players, the field players, it's getting better and better, even better and better. They're taking decisions and quicker decisions. They have more technical skills. They have more variation of the shot. So we have to continue to develop with that. But my opinion right now is to continue to work with my goalkeepers to be prepared, especially for a shot from 6 meters. And I'm trying to learn what is the best training methods, because this is also mentally very tiring. I can mention, I was up with the training with Katrine Lunde in May in her club. I visited her club, and we made 2 days with training. And I said, okay, we're making this a little bit for preparation for the Final Four, the European Championships, and so on. So I was with her 2 days, and I was preparing what will come, and made trainings that maybe with 70-80% of the shots were coming from 6 meters. And the second training, she said, I was good, Mats, but I'm very tired, because it was so many 6 meter shots, and you don't have this saving percentage that you normally have from long distance shots, you know. So it's also a little bit of training methods. It's also a little bit dangerous to take away the self-confidence of the goalkeeper if there are just coming goals and goals and goals and goals and you're shooting. So that's, for me, as in the training methods, I have to make exercises that also the goalkeeper have difficulties, but they should save the ball so they can have confidence when they're playing. No?
Mats, thank you very much for all your answers and for your presentation. It's been pretty amazing. Of course, many infos and new trends in handball and in goalkeeping play. We are concluding this webinar, but at 15 CEST, we have another one with Sweden's national team coach, Glenn Solberg, and Per Morten Söderdahl, the chairperson of the IHF referees. We will start at 15 CEST. See you then. And once again, thank you, Mats.
Thank you, everybody out there. And I hope it was something that you could listen to and you have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it, at least. Thank you very much.